Hi everyone, this is Swati from the Purple Flower, and I'm here today with Jennifer Spear. She's the one that I talk about in my Purple Flower story. She's the one who helped me name the website The Purple Flower. So if you want to know how crazy she is, go and read the story and you'll know all about her. So hi Jen,
Hi, Swati.
how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Jen is really good with crocheting and she can see all that yarn behind her. Show the yarn, yeah.
Yeah.
Her home, her office space looks like Joanne Fabrics or Michaels because of all the yarn over there. She has been through a lot of stuff, a lot of illnesses and problems, but she maintains herself sane and happy, mostly because of crocheting. So I wanted to talk to her about this and tell you that, you can be happy by doing something creative, learning a new hobby. And crochet, I hear a lot about crochet, that crochet helps a lot. I think the repetitive action, or I don't know what it is, so I will get to know from you. So tell me, Jen, how has it helped you? And when did
Right.
you start the crocheting?
I actually started to crochet when my kids were little, and I had to have something to keep my hands busy so I didn't yell at the coach. Right? And
How
I
old are your kids?
they were 10 years old,
Yeah.
So that would be over 20 years ago, about 25 years.
Wow.
And back then, it was just a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I could make hats and basic things, and I enjoyed it. I did it when I felt like it. And it wasn't a big thing. It was just one of the many things I could do crafty wise.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the last 10 years or so when my health has deteriorated that it became a lifeline for me,
Mm-hmm.
as well as figuratively.
Yeah,
And
I've known you for a long time now. I don't know how many years has it been. And it wasn't so much about crochet before. But in the last few years, I see you doing so much with this. And in the last few years, yes, you've been facing a lot of problems with your health and yet you remain happy. So can you tell us about what you've been facing and how crochet has helped you? And what is it about crochet that really helps people?
yes, exactly. So for me, I've got a couple of medical issues that cause chronic pain,
Mm-hmm.
um, keeps me awake. I also have some severe allergic asthma where I have to take a lot of prednisone, which also keeps me awake.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is that in the wee hours, I'm here by myself in front of the TV with nothing to do, and everybody in the house is sleeping. So I can either feel sorry for myself and cry, or I can get busy and get started on something.
Yeah, this is far more entertaining than crying.
I chose to get busy, right. Now, the reason that I think crochet works for me and for a lot of people is twofold. First of all, there are, as I mentioned before, there are a lot of projects you can do with just one simple stitch.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to pay too much attention to it if you're not feeling good, or if I feel like, I've got a little too much medication in my system and I can't quite focus. I can make a really simple hat, and I don't really even have to think about the pattern. But it helps me pass the time. On the other hand, some patterns can be extremely complicated. You have to count all your stitches, and there's 18 different things to do, and really fine lace weight yarns, or think you can make it as complex or as simple as you want based on how you're feeling. And
Mm-hmm.
I set that up. So because I have all this yarn behind me, I can pick a simple pattern or a complex pattern based on how I'm feeling that day. And no matter how I'm feeling, I can turn that energy into something positive, either something that I feel like I really accomplished something to make, like
Mm-hmm.
complicated patterns. I can't believe I made that. Or things like usually the hats, when I have to do simple things, I usually find a charity where I can donate those.
Yeah.
That turns my what could be a negative thing into a positive. I'm
It
turning
is. It
that
is.
energy into something either that makes me feel good and makes me confident in my skills, or that I'm just sending out into the world, as a positive influence for others. So that's how that's how it works for me.
Wow. It's really nice that imagine some people would be staying up all night with pain and crying. And what you do is create things and then send them for charity. And
Right.
that is really, really beautiful.
Yeah, I can't explain how it makes you feel, but there are, when when you're alone and you're in pain, or you're jittery from medication or sleepy from medication or something that and you can't sleep, there is really something about turning that into something else.
Yes.
There's a part of it that's just distracting yourself, giving your brain something else to think about for a little while. But then there's that other step of making it something that is really positive, not just killing time, not just finding a way to fill the time without feeling sorry for myself, but actually making it a positive thing that I can help other people with.
Mm-hmm. And I remember you had visited us once years back, and all of us got hooked into it. Me, my kids, friends.
It was a fun night, and I think I made you guys all night. That's right. It's a little addicting, because actually once you get in the swing of it, it's actually not that complicated. As I say, once you get comfortable with a couple of basic stitches, you can make a lot of things.
Yeah.
With just those simple stitches. If you know how to make a circle and you know how to make a square, you can make anything.
Yes, the tutorial you've given here in this blog is really beautiful. I looked at it. It's so simple to understand. Anyone who doesn't know how to crochet can start crocheting with this.
Oh, I think so too. It's a single crochet, the most basic stitch. We're just going to make a rectangle, nothing complicated. And everybody who sees it is going to say, I can make that.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun way.
So tell me, you said you do face a lot of pain. Does it pain your fingers when you're crocheting? Does it hurt when you do that?
No, actually, crochet is used by a lot of people with arthritis to keep the pain away, because it keeps your hands limber.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so for me, I have a really mild case of cerebral palsy, which means I have an equus deformity in my feet. So I have a lot of leg, ankle, foot pain.
Yeah.
And some of it is neurologically based, so there's just not a lot you can do about that. I mean, it's not something that painkillers, for example, will help. You kind of have to go through rest, the right amount of rest, the right amount of exercise, and all those palliative things to keep it from getting there. But sometimes that's just where it goes, and there's no way to really control that. So you just have to roll with it when it happens.
Wow. Oh, I never thought of that. When I was thinking about how you cope with the pain, and I thought about the arthritis and the pain, I think my mother-in-law had that, and her fingers were all crooked because of it. And I used to wonder how she knits. Does knitting does it help the same way as crochet? Because she used to knit a lot.
Yeah, it all has to do with that dexterity. And even though you might have arthritis or other issues, keeping those muscles and tendons moving keeps them moving longer.
So it actually helps with the pain and the arthritis doing this.
Yeah, it actually helps.
It actually helps. Okay.
So that's great. There are a lot of people. In fact, the gal who interviewed me for that article mentioned that a lot of older women are learning to knit and crochet for that very reason.
For that very reason.
Somebody they know said, my hands feel fine when I, play with yarn. So it's worth a try. It's definitely worth the experiment to give it a try.
And it's a very entertaining experiment too.
Yeah, I think so. Who doesn't want to have fun with yarn?
Yeah. Well, I did when you were here. I had a lot of fun, and now I have a big box full of yarn. But now we are waiting for you to come back.
That's right. And you still have a box full of blanket yarn, don't you?
Yes, I do. But the blanket is almost made. It's the size of a throw now, but I want it to be a big whole size blanket. So So I'm still waiting on doing it.
That's right. You just got to keep plugging away at it. That's the other thing too. That it's actually a great example because, I was talking about simple and complex patterns, but sometimes it's about the process. It's about having something to do and what you're thinking while you're doing it. It's not about production as far as how fast you can get something done or that kind of thing. It's all about how you feel while you're doing it.
Actually, that is something that's a very interesting point you made, because I'm usually about production and getting things done. I have to get things done. But when I do crochet and when you taught me, it's actually just feels so good, and I'm not in any hurry to complete it. It's just do it, and the process of doing it, I think that was very different for me. Just doing it and not worrying about it to be complete and be done so I can show it to the world. Here is the blanket I produced, but no, it's just fun doing it.
It is, and it also, it's not about a deadline or, it's not about adding pressure. It's about removing pressure.
Exactly. There's no pressure.
Remove those pressures. You don't want to add anything to it.
Yeah.
So I only crochet what I think is fun. So sometimes I change my mind mid-project and decide I want to make something else.
Mm-hmm.
Again, she points to all the yarn, because I want it to be something that is fun and is going to, give me something to look forward to.
Yep. And that's so true, because usually when you're working against deadlines, then it's pressure. It's about completing something and getting something done and showing something. But here there is no pressure. I don't feel the pressure. When I'm doing that blanket, I don't feel any pressure. I might do only one line, maybe only 2 lines, and that's it. It's okay.
And that's totally okay. And you'll pick it up sometime later and do another row or two.
Yeah.
And eventually you're going to have a great big blanket, and you're going to say, I can't believe one or 2 rows at a time.
I made a huge blanket.
I made a blanket. That's exactly right. And so that's partly, and it never goes stale. It never goes bad. You can put it aside if you need to, or pick it up when you need to. I think that's why this has become my craft of choice.
Yeah. This was really very nice, and I hope people would like to try this, and I would really, really encourage them to try your tutorial, because I really enjoyed it. I've never done this before, and I did this with you, and even the kids, they were kids with us. And kids, teenagers, who care? They really don't care these days. But those teens also, even they loved it, and they sat and made caps and cell phone bags and whatnot. Natasha even made her whole school bag with it.
She did. I was gonna say that was a big bag she made.
She made a really big bag.
And we had a great time doing it.
Yes.
So I do hope people will give it a try, and certainly I tried to keep it as straightforward as possible. But certainly, if anybody has questions or wants to know more, they should just let me know, and I'm happy to help.
I'll be giving your contact information there where you teach, so that they can come and ask you. And it is really very, very helpful, very healing, very meditative. And it's like how there was a time when I was going through a hard time, and beading was beading. I would just do simple beading, making simple bracelets. And that helped me. And after that, of course, I got into the whole complicated art of silversmithing and everything. But that wasn't relaxing at all. The beading was relaxing. And similarly, this crochet, just a simple thing, just those simple stitches, it was very relaxing and very healing. And I would really highly encourage people who are reading this or listening to this to give it a try and show us what you make whenever you finish it.
That's right. We want to see it. That's half of the fun.
Yeah. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.